what is gained from less mathematics education? So maybe instead of doing more of this, it hasn't really fundamentally changed equity issues and justice. Would it actually be better if we had less of it? So here's a really interesting question that they ask on page 31. Quote, if we had less mathematics education, what could we do with that newly open space in the curriculum? End quote. So the author talks about how, well, perhaps we could talk about climate policy, healthcare, actually discuss ethics more, especially in the K-12 and K-16 realm, or focus on things that might have a more direct route to justice. Which, here's an interesting quote that the author mentions. Quote, seeding curricular space for more lessons and entire lessons squarely focuses on the issues would be a more direct route to justice through education. Lobbying for such curricula would be politically difficult, but a first step would be to open room for them, end quote. And snaps to that. So kudos to the author for making a statement like that. I mean, very few people would argue, hey, this thing that I really love, that I'm very passionate about, that has had a profoundly positive impact on my life, I think other students should have less of it. And here's the final quote from page 31. Quote, it's simply not enough for each of us to focus on our individual silos of research or practice and be content with incremental change. I argue that the field of mathematics education should prioritize a goal of justice for minoritized groups and do so with urgency, even if it means there should be less mathematics education, end quote. And again, let's apply that to computer science education. I mean, what would it look like if instead of having one more class being crowbarred into the required classes, what if instead it was one less class? How would that impact things?